everybody and welcome to the channel. Bob Sales, this time's next year.
And brace yourself, lad, because this is really going to hurt.
Who is that, Captain?
It's Peter Pan.
So in today's video, we're going to explore the history of Peter Pan, the influence behind the stories, and the deep dig into all aspects, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What better way to hear his story than from the man that refuses to grow up? Of course, that is me, Bob Sales. Peter Pan, originally titled Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Couldn't Grow Up, was created by Scottish author J.M. Barrie. The character first made his appearance in Barrie's 1902 novel, The Little White Bird, a book intended for adults. Peter was only part of the story, but the popularity prompted Barrie to expand the role into a stage play in 1904. This later became Peter Pan. After the success of the play, it was later adapted into a novel called Peter and Wendy in 1911. This version follows the story of the play more than its origin. The story follows Peter, a mischievous boy that actually never grows up, as he leads Wendy Darling and her brothers to Neverland. They encounter fairies, mermaids, pirates, and the villainous Captain.
Looky, looky, I got hooky.
The creation of Peter Pan was actually influenced by many things. In 1867, Barrie's brother was killed in an ice skating accident. Barrie's brother was unfortunately actually 14. Now, his mum actually said the one thing she could take solace in was that he would remain an innocent boy forever. Of course, this in a sense stuck with Barrie. But that was not the only influence. Forward to 1898, some 30 years later, J.M. Barrie was in Kensington Gardens and met George and John Davis, a 4 and 5-year-old boy that was walking around with their nurse at the time. Barrie, of course, was a real nice man and ended up befriending the parents. He actually met their other sons, Peter, Nico and Michael. He was actually so close to the family, they started calling him Uncle Jim.
There is a very popular statue just behind me. It's actually a statue of Peter Pan, and it's said that J.M. Barrie was inspired by Kensington Gardens, and a statue was added in 1912.
It's funny because in the book we mentioned earlier, The Little White Bird, James included a passage about a grown man befriending a kid named David, close to how Barrie met the Davis family. Some researchers actually discovered a letter from J.M. Barrie that he actually sent to Michael Davis for his birthday. The letter read as follows: "I wish I could be with you and your candles. You look on me as one of your candles. The one that burns badly, the greasy one, that is bent in the middle. But still hurry, I am Michael's candle. Wish I could see you putting on the red skin clothes for the first time, dear Michael. I am very fond of you. Please don't tell anybody."
We're about to go to the VIP room upstairs.
Now, as mentioned, there's been multiple rewrites, plays and films and different variations. In 1924, the first adaptation was a silent movie featuring Betty Bronson as Peter Pan. Yes, a woman was playing Peter Pan. Now, the one most will remember is Disney's Peter Pan in 1953. One of the most famous adaptations, Disney's animated Peter Pan solidified the story in popular culture. This film was known for its colourful animation and memorable characters at the time. Although this version was loved by many, it also stirred controversy due to its stereotypical and offensive depiction of Native Americans in what made the Red Man Red sequence. In today's world on Disney Plus, you will actually get a warning that some of the content may be outdated. Now, my Peter Pan film was actually Steven Spielberg's Hook in 1991. This was a live action film featuring Robbie Williams as a grown-up Peter Pan, Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook, and Julia Roberts as the lovely Tinkerbell. Now, in this Hook film, Peter has grown up and is a very successful businessman. He's actually forgotten Neverland altogether, and he must actually return to rescue his children from Captain Hook after they were taken. Even though at the time it received mixed reviews initially, Hook has since become a nostalgic favourite for the family. Now, I must admit, I watched this film last night and this film still holds up just as good as when I first watched it. And of course, we can't forget the portrayal of Robin Williams as the Peter Pan. Now, there was actually more Peter Pans. PJ Hogan's Peter Pan was in 2003. This was a live action film aimed for the more faithful adaptation of Barrie's novel. It actually emphasises the darker, more dangerous aspects of Neverland. Now, Joe Wright's Peter Pan in 2015 was actually a prequel that was reimagined for the Peter Pan's backstory. Pan starred Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard, one of the only things going for this film, and it was actually a movie box office flop and deviated too heavily away from the original storyline. No one liked it. After that, there was a few more movies, but they're not even worth mentioning at that point. So one of the other things we should probably mention is J.M. Barrie's was actually a very charitable man. Barrie actually gave the rights to Great Ormond Street Hospital in 1929. And in 1988, the UK passed a law ensuring that the hospital continues to receive the royalties for every play indefinitely. So in the UK, it was actually assigned a special provision in the Copyright Designs and Patents Act of 1988, making Peter Pan the only work in the UK with this kind of copyright. So in most parts of the world, however, Peter Pan is public domain. Barrie actually died in 1937, and in most countries, works enter public domain after 70 years after the author's death. As a result, Peter Pan entered the public domain around 2007 in many other countries. But in the UK, all proceeds still go to Great Ormond Street, which is one of the best hospitals in the UK. So let's get to some fun facts. The term Wendy House is still used today, but it actually comes from the story of the Lost Boys building Wendy a Wendy house. In the original story, Peter Pan was a newborn baby, not a toddler, not a young kid. It was a baby. And did you know that fairy dust was actually added later for health and safety reasons? Originally, Peter Pan and the Lost Boys could fly unaided. But after several reports of children thinking it was Superman jumping off the bed, J.M. Barrie added fairy dust as a necessity to be able to fly. Peter Pan didn't actually wear green. This is actually a Disney invention. He was more seen in leather dark jackets and tan. And as I mentioned before, a lot of women played the role of Peter Pan, as traditional panto did back then. J.M. Barrie did actually wish to see a boy play Peter on stage, although he never lived to actually see this occur, although we all know it did. So that's been the story, let's get to the drop. And I must warn you, this is going to be a long drop. Feel like you're flying to Neverland with Walt Disney Animation Studios with this Peter Pan digital collectible. These are dropping on VeVe Saturday 28th of September, 8 AM PT, which of course is 4 PM UK time. So first dropping, we actually have 4 characters. These will actually cost $25 to mint. The common variation is Captain Hook. He is mint in 2,353 editions. He is non-animated. First public mint for sale will be 41. A total of 90 editions will be withheld by VeVe and a licensed source. The young Peter Pan is the uncommon and is animated. There will be 1,353 editions. First public mint for sale will be 41 and a total of 90 will be kept by VeVe and a licensed source. Smee is the ultra rare and not animated. He will be mint in 353 editions. The first available public mint for sale will actually be 21. A total of 40 will be kept by VeVe and a licensed source. No shock, our darling Wendy is a secret rare, also non-animated. She will be mint in 153 editions. First edition for public sale is 21. A total of 30 will be withheld by VeVe and a licensed source.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
There is another drop the same day, but 30 minutes later. This drop will be for the ship and the extras. Each item will cost 7 gems. First, we have the rare Jolly Rogers cannon. This will be mint in 820 editions. First available mint for public sale is going to be 21. A total of 50 will be kept by VeVe and a licensed source. Then we have Wendy's gift box. This is the ultra rare. There is actually 600 editions. First public mint for sale is going to be 21. A total of 50 will be kept by VeVe and a licensed source. For Shiver Me Timbers, then we have Captain Hook's treasure chest. This is the ultra rare and this will be mint in 444 editions. First available mint for public sale is 21. VeVe will keep 50 editions for them and a licensed source. Now the secret rare is Hook's watch. This will be mint in 288 editions. First available mint for public sale is 21. VeVe will keep 30. Then we have a second secret rare. This will be the Jolly Rogers deck. This will be mint in 888 editions and 50 will be kept by VeVe and a licensed source. So there's a lot to break down there. First, after seeing the video, I was really happy with the advertising the video they made and was excited for the drop, but it all does come down to variations and additions. So it's good to see the different prices for the extras at 7 gems, not the same for the characters. However, the detailing and being a bit rather simple, cartoony, I would say that's still a little bit too much for them items. Now the ship for 12 gems I would actually pay for. So I think this was an exciting drop, but I think this has been done completely wrong. So how could we actually improve this drop? There's too many additions in my eyes for today's market, but again, VeVe are not catering to today's market, they're thinking about the future. But there is no possibility of this drop selling out. Also with the extras and the boat, maybe this should have been craft items, not a drop item. Or even buy all the ship items and then get airdrop the ship for free. All of that seems to make sense. The drop's absolutely amazing, I can't complain there. And one other thing I want to add, also the box and the chest have no animations listed, no interactive listed, so I think it's exactly what they say they are on the description. So please keep the speculation on them very, very low. So let me know, should I be choosing in the editions and the prices for the VeVe drops in the future, or are VeVe bang on the money? So as always, I've been your host Bob Sales. This time next year, we will be millionaires. Peace!
You are too late, he cried proudly. I have shot the Wendy. Peter will be so pleased with me.
We're about to go crazy. We're about to go to the VIP room upstairs.